Good morning. It's time for your verse and worship song for today. A little surprise today. It's not a worship song, it's a praise song, but we'll get to that here in a minute. So today we are continuing our look in First Peter. Okay, so First Peter chapter 2, I'm going to do verses 13 through 17. So here we go. For the Lord's sake, accept the authority of every human institution, whether of the emperor as supreme, or of governors as sent by him to punish those who do wrong and to praise those who do right. For it is God's will that by doing right you should silence the ignorance of the foolish. As servants of God, live as free people, yet do not use your freedom as a pretext for evil. Honor everyone, love the family of believers, fear God, honor the emperor. One of the hardest things that I deal with one of these scriptures, and it talks about this a couple times throughout the scriptures, is honoring that authority, that man authority. So here, in Peter's letter, he's writing about honoring the emperor, right? Honoring whoever is in charge, whoever is the leader, essentially. And in the United States, we look to our president as the leader. We've had good ones, we've had bad ones. They all do things that I agree with, and they all do things that I disagree with. From a moral and political standpoints. But that's a side note. But that honoring the leaders is kind of a problem, and we have that in society today. I can remember whenever I was growing up as a kid, you know, Reagan was president early on in my life. I don't remember too much about his presidency, but I remember Clinton's presidency pretty well. I don't remember much about the older Bush, but I remember Clinton's presidency pretty well. Like I said, that was, I was in elementary school, but I can kind of remember that pretty well. But here's the thing, um, you know, I didn't agree with the things he did politically, but he was still my president. He was still someone that I had to respect, someone that I had to honor. Clinton was someone that I um, you know, had to honor in the position, that we had to respect, even though you don't agree with them. Today's political climate is so much different than that. I can remember, yeah, people were upset with policy, but never to the extreme of what it is today. What God is telling us here, no matter who's in charge, who's in authority, whoever the emperor is, quote unquote, um, that we really need to honor them. That doesn't mean that we have to agree with them. We don't have to say that everything that they do is right and everything that they do is correct. But we do need to honor them in the position that they have been elected to. Whenever elections occur, you know, um, at least in the United States, they're elected by the mass of the people, whether we agree with that or not. The way our political system is in the United States, half the people are going to be upset, essentially, with whoever gets elected. But we still need to honor them. We need to honor that position. If no matter who gets elected in the fall, whether it's Biden, whether it's Trump, it doesn't matter. We still need to honor them. So we don't have to agree with them. We don't have to push their agenda forward, but we have to agree that they're our leader and we need to stand behind them. And we got a special guest appearing today in the corner. Um, but what else does he say here? He tells us that as servants of God, live as free people. Okay, so don't live in bondage. Remember, this is written to the exiles. Uh, this is written to the exiles here, and they were dispersed all about. Some of them were finding themselves in a place where they might be on the verge of being slaves or living as slaves. They're saying that live as free people. You are free in God. This is who you are. Um, and it says that, for it is God's will that by doing right, you should silence the ignorance of the foolish. So, I can relate this um, back to the political system, right? How do we get, if it's somebody in power that we don't agree with? Um, how do we kind of silence them essentially? Well, we do the right thing. Like, don't take the low ground, take the high ground. Do the right thing. Be the bigger person, and this works with every relationship. Um, you know, there's been a lot of studying done on bullies in schools and things. And what's one way to prevent bullying from happening? To fight that bullying is to just be kind to them. A lot of them haven't experienced kindness in their lives, so that's one way that we can help prevent that, among many other ways. I'm not saying that's the only way, but that's one way that can help. Um, so, the kind of ending note here says, honor everyone, love the family of believers, fear God, honor the emperor. And that's a call out for life if I've ever heard one, right? Honor everyone, love the family of believers, fear God, and honor the emperor. Now, key strategies just to make it. That's where we're at. As we're thinking about those things today of how we are honoring everyone, right? Are we honoring everyone? We should be, right? Let's honor them. Don't have to agree with them, but we have to honor them. Love the family of believers. Love everybody in Christ, no matter who they are. And fear God, right? God has the authority we need to fear. And then honor the emperor. So there are your words of wisdom for today, guys. Just today, your worship song is every breath is praise. People in song, and it's more of a praise song. It's upbeat. You know, I think sometimes we get stuck in worship, in the worship part, and we don't do enough praise. So I've kind of been on the past couple days just listening to praise music, more up tempo, just giving God the glory. So you'll find that link in the description below. So enjoy your day.